the idea here with this circular movement here, whether or not he's the one who throws the first punch or if I'm crashing into him, if he decides to throw the first punch, this becomes my shield. I'm covering as much of my body as I can possibly can. But if I'm the one who goes first, right? This thrust is what goes towards his eyes, yeah. So it's kind of combining attack and defense into one movement, trying to compound the motion. So that's why it's the way it is. It's a little bit complex, I know, at first, but eventually you'll kind of understand the motion. So the rotation here is generated by the lats contracting and pulling the elbows downwards, and that gives me this rotational force that comes upwards. And then the extending happens as a sort of counterbalance where the back extends backwards as the fingertips extend forwards. So it's not just me throwing my hands up, because that would only mean my hands are giving force from my arms, but I want my back to give the force. So if I may borrow you again, right? The difference would be like if you put up a guard and try to stop me from coming in like this, right? The difference would be like strength of my hands versus strength of my body, where there's more musculature activation in the back to counterbalance my force. You take that back weight to stance, back leg is at a 45, front leg is pointed forward. We're going to lift the front foot and let the right leg follow at the same time that we come up, round and straight forward. And then we're going to bring our hands down, and we're going to do it again. Pick our hands up as we step forward. Down, pick up and step forward. So the beat is simple, in theory. We touch, and then we pat and walk forward with a punch. If I may borrow a crash dummy, please. Thank you very much. So the idea here is I go into crash, and this is going to get this out of the way, and I walk forward with this. So essentially it will look like this, right? So, going slow, right? I touch, yeah, so I touch, and then I realize I don't really need to do anything fancy, right? If I can blast through them, why waste my time, right? So then I can just get this out of the way, pocketing the elbow, and then walking forward with a punch. And even the punch is lazy. Lazy Kung Fu is the best Kung Fu. Why would I waste my energy if I don't have to, right? I'd rather just swing my arm at them and let them die, if it's that easy, right? So the idea is first I go to touch. I realize, okay, I'm smashing through, so I just get their arm out of the way, walk forward with this punch. So all of the punch is not this. I just change from open hand to closed hand, and I take that step forward. The step does all the punch for me. So, meet, get the elbow, close the fist, walk forward. Down, meet, get the elbow, walk forward with the fist. Meet, get the elbow, walk forward with the fist. First we meet, right? And this is where I decide, okay, I can smash through this time. Then I get to here. I'm just gonna take this out of the equation for a second. I'm gonna walk forward. See what happened? It made him hop back. That was a moment in time where he was no longer in control of his body. That's what push hand is looking for. Anytime they're not in control of their body, they're fighting for their balance. And if they're fighting for their balance, they're not fighting you with 100%. They're now divided between fighting and fighting for balance, right? So in that moment is when we attack. So we meet, I cock the elbow, I drive forward, they pull fist and the fist. Does that make sense?